Today we're going to shoot selective focus tilt shift photography with the Holga lens. Hey everyone, Sean here with Photodiox.com. Now Holga Week is coming to an end. What is Holga Week? It's the first week in October. You take a Holga film camera, take a picture, submit it to HolgaWeek.com, and you may just win a prize. But here at Photodiox, we celebrate Holga Week by taking a look at all things Holga, and today we're gonna do a special experiment. We're gonna see if we can turn a Holga DSLR lens into a tilt shift lens. And before we go any further, I just want to thank YouTube user Geek in the Garden for suggesting this idea. Thanks for the idea, Geek. Okay, what are we gonna need for this build? Well, first off, you're going to need a Holga DSLR lens, either a Holga lens for Canon EF or Nikon F. Unfortunately, this won't work with Holga mirrorless lenses. You're also gonna wanna make sure that the Holga lens is modded to true f8, so you're gonna wanna remove the vignette filter. This is essential because if we leave the vignette filter in, the Holga lens will have too narrow of an aperture and the tilt shift effect will not be very visible. Second off, you're going to need our Photodiox Tilt Rocker Tilt Shift adapter. I'm gonna be adapting this Canon EF mount Holga lens to this Sony a7R camera. So I'm gonna need our Tilt Rocker adapter, which is Canon EOS to Sony E. Then we just mount the Canon EF Holga lens to the tilt rocker, mount the tilt rocker to the Sony a7 camera, and voila, we have our Holga lens adapted to our mirrorless Sony E-mount camera with full tilt shift effects. We can shift left or right, not really useful for what we're doing today. What we're really gonna want is the tilt effect, and you do that by loosening this gold knob, and then you can tilt the adapted lens down. So the focal plane of the lens is no longer flat, it's actually tilted, and that means we're only getting a slice of the focus of the lens, and then the other parts of the frame are out of focus. Then to set the focus plane in different parts of our scene, we push this gold button here, and we can rotate the lens, so we can rotate where the tilt effect goes. Let's take a look at some of the photos I captured with this setup. Now in the first photo, we're not using the selective focus effect, we're not tilting at all, and everything's fairly flat. Now it is a bit soft because this is a modded f8 lens, but everything is mostly in focus. But then in the second shot, we tilt the lens and now only a section of the photo is in focus and everything else is out of focus. And this is a really unique way to get a little bit more out of your Holga lens. Holga lenses for digital cameras were designed to give you a lo-fi vintage look, but adding the tilt effect gives you a little more control, allows you to have just focus in one area of the frame. Kind of harkens back to really old, cheaper lenses that had soft edges. Now, depending on where you place the tilt in the rotation, you're going to get different effects. If you just tilt down or up, you're going to get a sliver of focus that is horizontal in the frame. But if you rotate the lens sideways, the sliver of focus will now be vertical. A vertical part of the image will be in focus and the right and left will be out of focus. I love the selective focus effect on these images. It really highlights the beauty of the autumn leaves by focusing on one little spot of it and letting the rest kind of go out of focus. You can also have more of a subtle selective focus effect in this shot of the little scarecrow. First shot, everything's fairly in focus. Second shot, I am tilting horizontal and I've got this nice little focus on the scarecrow, and the left and right of the scarecrow are going a little bit out of focus. Not much, but it does give the Holga f8 lens a look that's closer to like a Holga lens that was like, you know, an f2.8. Makes the lens seem like it has a shallower depth of field to it. And again, this only works for adapting Holga DSLR lenses to mirrorless cameras. If you have a Holga lens for a mirrorless camera, you can't put the tilt rocker adapter in between the lens and camera, or the lens will no longer focus to infinity. So you have to use a lens that's designed for a longer focal flange distance, and that extra space is where we put the adapter. Hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, comment below, I can help explain it a bit more. Now, I've used a Holga lens on my digital camera for years to create a lo-fi vintage look, but I had never tried it with our Tilt Rocker Tilt Shift adapter, and I gotta say, having that extra selective focus makes shooting with a digital Holga lens a whole new level of fun. Now, if you want to learn more about the Tilt Rocker Tilt Shift adapters, click the link in the description below. Also, comment below if you have any questions. I would love to help you out. And click right here to subscribe to our YouTube channel to get more videos just like this one. I'm Sean with Photodiox.com, and happy Holga Week.